Morning, everybody. It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. You know that because you're here. Maybe you're not. You're new. In which case, if you enjoy this video, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and leaving productive comments at or above the intellectual level of a third grader down below. Mucho apreciado, hombre. I've got a handful of notes on the plandemic, or this is just a dry run, Bear. And when I say a handful of notes, I mean a handful of notes. Other than that, this is basically stream of consciousness. And I want to preface this discussion with this. Do not let the concept of plandemic draw you off course from what you need to do. You need to execute on the actuality of your situation. Let me repeat. Execute on the actuality of your situation. Deal with the facts, bro. That's what you need to do. That's what I need to do. Now, also as a brief programming note, the Bear Daily Brief from 10 April, which was live streamed on the YouTubes, was never failed to convert from a live stream to an archived video on YouTube. That's how it works. You do it live, and then it uploads a copy of your live stream to YouTube, which then lives as a video in perpetuity. That did not happen on 10 April. Was it the reptilian overlords? Maybe. Was it the CFR? Maybe. Was it the cabal? Probably. Was it a technical issue? Possible. I don't know. So I've been getting a lot of emails of, Bear, where did that go? That's where it went. It went out into the digital ether and will likely, very likely, never return. So, apologies, question mark. All the more reason you ought to consider supporting us on Patreon, because we don't have those issues on Patreon. Now, what are we gonna do, man? It's a plandemic. This whole thing has been rehearsed. You know, they did a study in 2018 about this, and you know there was a big military operation and all these things, bro. Raj. Let's deal with actuality. If this is a dry run, and I got a text from a brother recently that said, hey, how much time do you think we have? And my answer was, enough if we get our asses in gear. That's my answer to you. Enough if you get your asses in gear. What are you doing about food, homie? Well, Bear, it's exorbitantly priced right now. Which is why I've been telling you for years to stack it to the rafters. But not just food storage, food production. What are you doing to make food appear up out of the ground? BT dubs, it poured rain here last night. We're looking at a 45-degree temperature drop in the next 24 hours, which is significant, which causes this to happen. And when this happens up there in the sky, rain falls from the sky. Yeah. And now to sports with Bob. What are you doing for food production? Well, Bear, seeds are non-essential. Are they non-essential in your neck of the woods? Because for some of you, the answer is yes. For the rest of y'all, nice data point. Go buy seeds. Got it. Can't do that in Vermont. That sucks. I'm not in Vermont. Go buy seeds. Well, I can't go buy anything, Bear. Amazon, Wish, Walmart.com, Target.com, little thing called Google, the Burning Hearth Homestead, Rare Seeds. .com. I know they've been having, man, their inventory has been getting eat up. Find seeds. Talk to your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors. You can take potatoes from the store. Cut out a piece. Each piece should have an eye on it. Plant that. Now you have seed potato. You can take corn from the feed store. Plant that. Now you have corn. You can take pinto beans out of the bag, plant that. Now you have pinto beans. I've done all of this myself personally with these two hands. This is not theorizing or pontificating. I've done it. It works. So you should consider doing that. All of those are high in caloric density as well. Have you researched your wild edibles? Are there wild edibles in your suburbalon 12,000 roof gated neighborhood with the rubber mulch at the playground because we don't want people to get splinters? Is there anything to eat in that area, or should you have gotten out of there days, weeks, months, years ago? Are you actually making a list of all the things that you wish you had done differently during this time? This is something that Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness has been pushing hardcore at his Patreon channel. Are you making a list? I am. I need an IBC tote full of Reese's Pieces. We need a pallet of double stuffed Oreos, and we need a milk cow. Other than that, we're doing okay. Praise Yah. So how's your food production? Have you developed your intel yet? Have you done an area study? Do you know who the bad guys are in your area? Do you know who the good guys are in your area? Do you know how to get a hold of those people? Do you have a commo plan in place? PACE, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. We've got videos on all this in the Prepper Classroom, by the way. Literally all of this is in the playlist of the Prepper Classroom here at this channel. And I'm not trying to sound like an a-hole, and I apologize if I do. It's early. I'm only halfway through this wonderful, wonderful container of magical elixir. Pinky up. Pinky up, boys. There we go. Excuses or lies. How's your commo? How's your intel? If this is a dry run, is the opportunity you're being presented to run your face about it on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, TikTok apparently, whatever the cool kids are doing these days? We're gonna sit around. It's a dry run. The cabal. Yeah, but Q said. Or are you going to make food by the sweat of your brow and the blood of your hands? Like, the blood of your hands come up out of the ground. Are you actually going to start building your network now? Are you actually going to start strengthening the community bond? Oh, the dreaded C word. The community bonds in your area amongst the people that you must be at minimum neutral with, but ideally on a good footing with. If this is a dry run, act like it. Tremendous. Act like it. Believe me. What does your security look like? Besides, yeah, man, I operate. Besides that, physical security, perimeter security. Do you have overwatch? Are you fighting this battle from your doorstep? Is your early alert system, somebody breached my gate or my fence a half a mile that way? Put a neighborhood watch together. You know, it's funny when you have pre-existing context with the people in your area, these things kind of just happen. We don't have a neighborhood watch, but the whole neighborhood, to the extent that we have a neighborhood, is on watch. The 10 people that live in the square mile where I live are on watch. And the 10 people in the next square mile over from there are on watch. And the next over from there are on watch. And you know what? We can all talk to each other. We do all talk to each other, and we all check in on each other. Do it. Do it. If this is a dry run, do it. Are you where you need to be? Is your location all jacked up? Are you dealing with the negative ramifications of population density as discussed ad nauseum here. Well, Bear, did you see that in Rhode Island, the military... I'm not in Rhode Island. And yeah, that sucks. And maybe in Rhode Island, it's time to water the tree of liberty. I don't know. We'll get there as far as that actionable intel goes at some point. I don't know. And to be clear, I'm not advocating for doing anything stupid or brash. But you know where I'm not? Rhode Island. Yeah, Bear, but you don't get it. No, I do get it. I've lived and worked in 38 of the lower 48. I was born and raised in upstate New York, and I left the moment I could. You know why I left? Because I owned a business in upstate New York, and part of that business was selling firewood. And the little town that I lived in passed an ordinance, city ordinance, that it was a $250 fine if you had a blue tarp on your firewood because it was an eyesore. So I went to the hardware store and bought every blue tarp that I could and gave them away for free if you bought a cord of wood as a kind of a to the city council. Because that's soft tyranny. That's stupid. Coupled with the fact that this makes me a felon. Nah, I'm good. I'm out. We have long-standing family roots in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. A couple hundred years in that area. My great-grandfather was the last U.S. Marshal of the Oklahoma Territory. Before it was a state. My grandfather's phone number was 2 letters and 2 numbers in the Yukon Territory for well drilling, oil and gas drilling. In the Yukon Territory. So we go back a ways over here in the Midwest, in the breadbasket, in Freedom Land. And so I understand deeply the difference between soft tyranny and freedom, and what things are supposed to be and what the actuality of those things are. Maybe you need to move. Maybe this is the catalyst for you to move from where you are to where you need to be, because where you are is untenable. And maybe this is the thing that's shining light on the fact that where you are is untenable. Move. Well, Bear, you don't get it. It's so hard. I moved here with 3 kids and an 82-year-old grandma while working 70, 80 hours a week. I know it's hard. You have an opportunity to be harder than the problem. Right now, if your answer is it's hard, you are softer than the problem. Get harder than the problem. Well, it's easy for you. No, it's not easy for me to say, but I've done it, which means that I do get to say it. And if I can do it, you can certainly do it. That's my point. How much fuel do you have? Are all your holding tanks topped off? Are all your vehicles topped off? And not just gas and diesel. How about propane, cooking fuel, charcoal, firewood? We've gone through a bunch of charcoal since this whole thing started, because part of what we have going on is the observation of biblical feasts. We've been doing a lot of outside cooking. Been burning through, literally, charcoal and firewood. A lot of it. Well, Bear, you know, you can make more charcoal, but I know. When? And that's perhaps another great talking point, is people have a lot of ideas of what this thing is going to be like, but what they don't have is a lot of experiences to what this thing is going to be like. They've all been fed, homie. Circuit's done been made. They don't have a lot of experiences to what the actuality of this thing is going to be. Well, here we are. If it's a dry run, use this experience to your advantage. You thought you were going to use X, you actually used Y. Take notes again. We have fired 0 shots. Well, I fired 1 shot in anger while this thing has been going on, but that was at a guinea hen. You can find that on the Passover Lamb podcast, on Bear Independent podcast on iTunes. It's on Podbean. It's also streaming at bearindependent.com. I think I was reading Matthew. I was like, so Matthew 26 says The guinea literally from 150 yards away sees me, comes running over to me, and gets 10 feet away and starts bap 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 bap. And I said, hold on, podcast, I gotta handle this. So I stand up, it runs to about 15 yards away, and I put a 230 grain spear gold dot through it because it was time. It's had it coming a long time. And then we sat back down and continued with, okay, so anyway, Matthew 26 says, and then we ate that guinea and it was delicious. And shame on all of y'all who thought that I wouldn't eat that guinea, and shame on all of y'all who thought that it was cruel for me to kill it. First of all, it's mine. I'll do with it as I please. Second of all, it was delicious. And third of all, of course we apply stewardship to everything we do out here. It was wonderfully tasty. And because of that, we've considered buying 0 more guineas because they're annoying as hell. Well, Bear, they're great watchdogs. No, they're not. They alert at everything. They alert at me. If they alert at everything, they alert at nothing. Next. So, we've fired 0 shots in anger other than towards a guinea. You know what we have done every day? Eaten, and eaten well. Praise the Father every day. And so, part of that is population density equation. Out here, the likelihood of having to fire shots in anger is much lower than in an urban area when the trucks stop moving, or in a suburban area when the trucks stop moving. Out here, hell, for all we know, the trucks could have stopped moving, right? And that's the basic thesis of this channel. Independent, and I've said it before and I mean it. I want to be so wildly independent of this fragile and broken system that when it ends, somebody has to come tell me a couple weeks later, hey, did you hear the world ended? I didn't know. I was over here planting peas. Are we there yet? No. But we're closer than we've ever been. And we're diligently working in that direction, that if this is a dry run, that's our intent, to get better and better and better. Which I guess brings us back to, if you need to make your moves now while you can. If you live in a bad place, get in a good place where you can foster some community with like-minded individuals. And people get scared about the idea of community. Don't. It's stupid. Really what it is in my experience, it's people's egos bristling against the likelihood of personal accountability with another human being. Get over yourself. I did. We all did out here. Because strong individuals find fulfillment and sense of purpose in a good team. And a good team can only exist with strong individuals. They're symbiotic. They go together like peas and carrots. Okay? They're interlocking. You can't have one without the other. You can't have a good team without strong individuals, and strong individuals, again, find their sense of purpose and fulfillment in being part of a good team. Boom, community. I don't care what label you put on it. These could be your buddies from the Boys and Girls Club of America. Awesome. Don't care. I don't care. Or it could be your MAG, your mutual assistance group, or the local 312 operators militia union of multicam boys, or whatever. I don't care. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. That's fine. You need people. You need people to do this thing. And you need dependable people. You need people that'll show up when you need them. You need people that are arm's reach away. And you know what happens with that? You need to be an arm's reach away to them as well. You need to show up when they need you. Symbiotic. People don't just come here and help me. I go there and help them. See how that works? And so if you have an opportunity now to lean into this, to use this dry run, regardless of it's a plandemic, man, or this is just a dry run for the government to figure out how they're gonna enslave the world. Okay, cool. What are you doing with that opportunity? Oh my gosh, did you see that? Shut up. Shut up. Because none of that horse pucky matters out here. And it shouldn't matter to you either. You have far more important things to be doing than running your face digitally or face to face. Get after it. And I can say that. Oh, that's real hypocritical coming from the guy with the YouTube channel. We've doubled the size of our flocks and herds in the last 30 days. We've doubled the size of our pasture in the last 30 days. We've increased tenfold the size of our garden space in the last 30 days. We've not missed a single meal. We've not done without in anything. We're getting after it. We are prospering from this opportunity. We are learning from this opportunity. We are leaning into this opportunity, not withdrawing from this opportunity. So if this is a dry run, what are you doing about it? Get off your asses and move. Shalom, y'all.